Okay, hello everyone. This is really dumb. I picked a horrible day to do this live stream because it's so unbelievably windy. And if I move this microphone that's in my phone, I will lose audio. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, otherwise you won't be able to hear anything because it's so windy. But it's very nice, and I figured I would continue on with these live streams that I'm doing every week where I walk around and explore. I'm in a new area. I'm up in where am I? Longjing district, which is where Donghai University is. And this area is kind of cool, kind of interesting, some fun places to check out. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about what happened yesterday in Taiwan, in case you didn't follow the news. I do have like a little dead cat on my microphone to hopefully protect from the wind. I don't know if it's doing a good job. So if you guys have any audio issues, I would appreciate it if you let me know, because there's no way for me to know if you guys can hear what I'm saying. And like I said, you won't be able to hear me if this microphone falls out, which it probably will, because it's my phone is too old. So anyways, yesterday I was at home. Dion, is it Glory's dead cat? Yeah, it isn't. Okay, my God, yeah, this microphone's totally gonna fall out. Even the wind is gonna knock it out. So yesterday I was at home, minding my own business, working on a video for a sponsor, having a grand old time, when suddenly my phone started going crazy. Still windy, yeah, I mean, not really anything I can do about that. I have a dead cat on, but if it's not gonna block the wind, then I can't really do anything about it. But yeah, so my phone starts freaking out, starts beeping, and Jesus Christ, there's like a typhoon coming through or something here. I think the issue is that because I'm so close to the ocean, I mean, I'm not really close to the ocean, but I'm up on a hill by the ocean. And so there's no protection from the winds from the Taiwan Strait. And so, back in the city, which is down a little bit, you'll be able to, it's just less windy because this hill that I'm on right now protects the city from a lot of like extreme weather. So yeah, we're facing the full brunt of the ocean winds right now. But yeah, my phone starts freaking out, starts beeping. And so I put my camera down and I'm trying to figure out what it is, because it's making a sound that I'm not used to. It's not like the normal alerts when I get messages, or I don't know, if I get a phone call, it's like a totally different sound. And so I check it, and it's a presidential alert, which we get sometimes in Taiwan, usually for earthquakes or something that can be potentially catastrophic. So those aren't really a huge deal, but this one, I'm reading the English part, and it says something like, I don't remember the exact words, you can look at the thumbnail because I've just, I've put the actual alert in the thumbnail, but it says something like missile alert, or be alert, something like missile flies over Taiwanese airspace, be alert, something, very worrying in English. And so I think normally what you would expect me to do, or expect most people to do, is someone's laughing that it was a presidential alert. Maybe it wasn't. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like that, something to that effect. Where am I walking? I'm kind of lost, but that's okay. I wanted to show you guys a nice view, and I don't know that I'm going in the right way. But yeah, normally I think in a lot of other countries or places that where you would see this alert, you would probably run for the nearest, bomb shelter or something, which in most cases for Taiwan, in case you're curious, is just the garage, it's the basement. But I didn't do that because I'm dumb. I grabbed my camera again, and I thought, that's so cool. If there's a missile flying over, I want to be the guy to catch it. Not with my hands, I mean with my camera. And so I run to my balcony and I'm looking for stuff, but nothing's really going on. But I knew that if there was going to be some kind of, if there was going to be something like this, whoa, it's like a scrapyard or something behind me, weird. If there was going to be something like this, that they would scramble jets. Now I live fairly close to the air base in Taiwan, where Taiwan flies their jets to and from. And so I knew that if they were going to be flying jets, that I would be one of the first people to see it. because I hear the jets so often. And so I went onto my roof, and I did capture 3 Taiwanese jets flying overhead, which is pretty cool to see, but also not all that abnormal. And it wasn't until later, like some of you are now pointing out in the comments, that it wasn't actually a missile. That alert was a teeny beady little bit of a whoopsie daisies from the government, depending on who you talk to. I guess instead of it being a missile, it was a satellite launch. It was from China. They were launching a satellite, and I guess its flight path did go over Taiwan. And so the Chinese part of of this alert that everyone got on their phones, so anyone who has a smartphone in Taiwan got this alert. It just takes over your phone and it shows it. So the Chinese part said it was just a satellite, but the English one said missile alert, which is a totally different story. And yeah, someone says the satellite is attached to the missile, and you're right. But I mean, one is extremely dangerous and can cause some people to worry or freak out and panic. And the other one's just a stupid satellite. So yeah, all that excitement over absolutely nothing, something totally benign and not a huge deal. Let me see if I can cross the street here without getting in the way. Yeah, someone says it's testing foreigners, and I think it failed if that was the test, because no one cared about this thing. No one was running for the hills. No one was running for bomb shelters or bunkers. Everyone went on their day like it was absolutely nothing. Obviously, because if they were panicking, they were probably asking Taiwanese people what the hell was going on. And then when the Taiwanese person reads the Chinese part and it says, oh, it's actually just a satellite, there's a translation area, no one cares, which was kind of funny. But even if it was like a legitimate missile alert, my theory, and feel free to disagree with me, but my theory is that I don't think anyone would care anyway. The reason I say this is that my apartment that I used to live in used to do like fire drills a lot. I can't really call them fire drills. They were more like testing the fire alarm with 0 warning to the people who live there. And inside your apartment, they have like sirens that go off that you can't turn off or take out. That's just like part of where you live. And I remember the first time I heard it, there was like a fire alarm, and in Chinese they're like, calmly leave the building, blah, blah, blah. And so I did. I walked outside and I waited for like 5 minutes because I didn't know if it was a drill, if it was real or what. And no one was downstairs. I was the only idiot that left the building. So I don't know if it's just like a cultural thing where Taiwanese people just like ignore fire alarms, which is so dangerous. But I think, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the logic is there. Like maybe because Taiwanese apartment buildings aren't as flammable as other buildings around the world. Maybe that's the case. Like fires can be pretty much contained to one room because, you know, back in the West or in other countries, your house is made of wood, and there's carpets, and there's, you know, cloth sofas and all kinds of highly flammable materials. So a house can go up in flames really fast, and so fire safety is like a really big deal in the West. But here in Taiwan, like the building's made of concrete, and there isn't really anything that's not true. Obviously, there are massive, horrible fires here. This is really unfortunate that I'm talking about this right now because I'm walking right next to a graveyard. That was completely unintended. But yeah, I don't know. They just like ignore fire alarms here. And so I think if there was like a missile alert, I wonder if that would be equally as ignored. But yeah, I just found that kind of interesting. And yeah, someone says Taiwanese ignore pretty much every alarm. That makes sense. But yeah. Good afternoon, Prazi. Great weather to enjoy the moment. Yeah, the weather is amazing today. That's why I chose to go for the walk. I just wasn't expecting it to be this windy. This is insane. So I apologize for the audio quality. Will you stay in Taiwan if all hell breaks loose? Prazi, I thought you were heading to Valhalla. Yeah, I don't know. I think ideally I would like to stay, but it really depends on how bad things get. because that situation is not one you kind of want to be stuck in. And so if I'm forced to leave, then obviously, you know, my hands are tied and there's nothing I can do, but I think it would be interesting to document, but it would obviously be incredibly terrifying. I'm not like a brave person or overly, I don't know, like willing to be in that situation, but we'll see. Obviously that question I don't think about very often because I don't think about it at all, because if I thought that situation would actually happen, then I wouldn't live here. But I'm not actually worried about it, and neither are most Taiwanese people, of course. And so no one really thinks that it's going to happen, and so that's not a scenario I ever really think about. So yeah, someone also said in the comments that it's like testing the election or interfering with the election, and I guess that's a possibility. I did read in the news that the Kuomintang, the KMT, was quite upset with the DPP, with the ruling party, because of this this warning that went out. They're sort of calling it like fear mongering. You know, there was no real point in sending out this alert if it was just a satellite. Why does everybody in the country with a smartphone need to know about it? It wasn't a threat. It like wasn't a big deal. And so they kind of came under a bit of fire for that. I wanted to show you guys down there, like past this bridge behind me, you can kind of see Shalu, like the route. Maybe we'll get a better view of it when we go up this road a little bit. But it's kind of interesting. The ocean's back that way, and it's not a part of Taiwan I get to show you guys very often because I used to live further inside the city, and Taichung is kind of, I wouldn't call it, Jesus Christ, I wouldn't call it tucked up into the mountains, but it is not. Taichung doesn't really have like a coast, or it doesn't really have like a beach. You'd have to drive pretty far to get to one, which kind of sucks. But now I live a lot closer to the water. That doesn't mean that there's a beach. It's just mostly like harbors or rocky parts of the area. But yeah, so it's kind of cool that I get to show you guys this part. I used to work around here, very close to here, and I used to shoot videos here sometimes, but not all that often. But now that I live close to this area, it's kind of fun to walk around. It's a little bit different than the rest of the city. But yeah, someone says, right, my Taiwan coworker said, why are you freaking out? I just said like a missile, and he said, no, it's a satellite, and just smacked my own forehead. Yeah, I mean, you can imagine like the pandemonium and the panic that would cause amongst foreigners here. Like, what the hell, a missile? You know, especially for people who live here or have just moved here, or for people who are kind of on the fence about moving here and they were worried about a situation like that coming about, and then all of a sudden they get a phone on their, they get a message on their phone saying there's like, you know, a missile alert. You can understand why people would start to panic and freak out a little bit. But yeah, just a satellite. How do you think Taiwanese life and society has impacted your personality and values? That's a great question. Jeez Louise, a deep one. I think it's made me a lot more conscious or considerate of other people's feelings. I think in the West, we have this idea that's like, you shouldn't care what other people think. When they say that, what they mean by that is like, you shouldn't care what other people think about you. But here in Taiwan and a lot of parts of Asia, that's such a ridiculous idea. It's so dumb. You know, of course you have to care about what other people think about you, and you have to care about their feelings, and you have to be very considerate of them so they don't lose face. And before, when I was living in Canada, I kind of had that attitude where it was a bit, I won't call it selfish, but it's more of like a Western idea of not really caring about what other people think about you and just doing whatever you want. Whereas here in Taiwan, you have to be, I don't want to say walking on eggshells because it's not entirely accurate, but you do have to be pretty careful about what you say to people and how you approach them, and you have to be very careful about making a very good first impression, because it's really hard to get the opportunity to make that right. I'm going to walk down this alley to hopefully avoid some of the wind, although that might not work, but we'll see. And so yeah, I think living here has changed just the way I interact with people. Although I'm still not very good at it. Like, I do often come off as not very nice or not very talkative, because I am often very introverted, but it's something I'm more conscious of. By the way, how creepy is this? This person owns like, I don't know, a plot of land or like a farm behind me. And on these posts, they've just put helmets, like empty helmets on posts. Looks like an effigy from The Forest, which is a video game. But yeah, great question. That's just the answer I have off the top of my head. I think if I think about it a little bit more deeply, then maybe it's worth a whole video. But yeah, I think here in Taiwan, you have to be really careful about making sure that people don't lose face. What that means is that you have to be very careful about people not feeling embarrassed. And, you know, if someone makes a mistake or if someone does something wrong, I think oftentimes the Western approach, cool little farm behind me, the Western approach is to kind of berate that person or make sure that everyone is aware that that person made that mistake, and not necessarily to embarrass them, but to make sure that they learn from it and they don't have to make that mistake again. Whereas here, in Taiwan, you kind of have to brush it off or almost ignore it, or not point the blame so directly at that person so that you can save face and make sure that that person doesn't feel embarrassed, because you'll get some really interesting, kind of crazy reactions from Taiwanese people when they lose face in a really serious way. I've seen some crazy stuff happen when people get like that. But yeah. Are we having an argument in the comments already? Parsi, did you regret living in China, or would you start with Taiwan right away? That's another good question, and probably also worth another video. I don't think, Jesus fucking Christ, dog. Dick. This is the one, I'll get to your question in a second, but like this is the one big problem with living in this area, is that because it's rural by Taiwanese standards, but if you're looking around, obviously it doesn't seem that rural. But a lot of these people here have farms or industrial areas, and in these areas, Jesus Christ, they keep dogs, and oftentimes these dogs aren't even like locked up, and so they bark at you, or they run at you, or they can even attack you. And that's not even talking about the amount of stray dogs that are in this area, which are like not to be trifled with. These are not, like, for people who come to Taiwan and they see a stray dog and they might feel like this dog is cute or needs their attention or should be adopted or pet, don't. These dogs, don't touch them. They bite. So anyways, yeah, back to your question. I don't think I regret living in China. I had a lot of fun there. I met a lot of interesting people there. I have a lot of close friends there. Miss Jo is one of them. And so I think on a personal level, I don't regret it because it was kind of fun. Oh geez, did Dion do a super chat that I've missed? Oh, thanks Dion, appreciate it. He didn't ask a question, but thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really, really appreciate that. Dion has been a supporter of mine for a very long time, and what's great about him is that he's come to Taiwan to visit me, and we had some fun here. But yeah, him having his support's great, because now that I'm doing YouTube full time, I need I need money. Like, it's so weird making this switch from being like a teacher where I get a salary every month to just like relying on you guys watching the videos or liking or you know, supporting me in other ways, or sponsorship. So yeah, Dion, you're the best. And yeah, Dion's been with me. He said before I started YouTube, before what he means by that, I think, is when I was on Simok's channel before I had my own channel. So that's cool. I've known him for many, 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 many years. So yeah, on a personal level, I don't regret living in China. But I think on a moral level or an ethical level or a political level, I can kind of see, I don't know, I feel like maybe paying taxes in that country or driving any kind of economy or tourism to that country is not so good when, you know, I released that video yesterday, which got a lot of attention from from Taiwanese people and a lot of anger, because I talked to Miss Zhou, my Chinese friend, and we're exploring the topic of China and Taiwan, and it angered a lot of people. And I obviously understand why they're upset. I don't really need to explain that to you. And so I think the fact that I lived there and kind of, I wouldn't say promoted the place, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. And so when people ask me, like, some people are like, oh, should I choose Taiwan or China? It's like, well, that depends. Like, do you want to go to a country with a government that's that ethically wrong? You know what I mean? Like, I think Abroad in Japan made a similar point with North Korea when they launched a missile over Japan, and he was saying, like, he was kind of pointing a finger at tourists that go to North Korea out of curiosity, because it's the hermit kingdom, right? It's the area that you're not allowed into, and it's the area that not a lot of people get to see. And by going there, you're supporting this government, which is funding these missiles flying over the country. And so I can kind of make a similar argument about China, but no, I don't really regret it. I had some fun there, and I'm happy that have been able to see both sides of the issue, so that I can kind of have more of an open mind, and I'm not so, I will never look at a Taiwanese person or a Chinese person and really, I'm not going to jam my feelings and my opinions and my thoughts down their throat, because I can understand kind of both sides a little bit better. So yeah. Also, it's funny how some people are saying, like, no one cares about the missile. Okay, what do we think? I kind of want to go down this alley, but I'm worried about dogs. Let's go down this alley. If I get eaten by dogs, then we'll be able to see it live, and that's fun. So, yeah, someone said nobody cares about the missile or the satellite that got launched over Taiwan, and they're right. I spent like the first 5 minutes of this live stream talking about it. And that's all there is to say. No one gives a shit. Oh, it's awesome. Check out that Subaru. I don't know if it's a WRX or if he just has the colors on it, but that's pretty sick. But yeah, like, so many people ask me, like, oh, aren't you worried? You live in Taiwan, aren't you worried about the conflict? And it's like, no one cares. No one cares here. Nobody gives a shit. If a missile or if something happens, if there's some kind of alert, or an air raid alarm went off, I really don't think very many people would react. I think, like, for the first, hour of the conflict, I don't even think most people in Taiwan would know what's even happening. Where am I? I might have walked down a dead end. There's like a really windy bamboo forest here. Oh, I can't call that a forest, but there's bamboo. But yeah. Dog says I also got the satellite alert. Who's dog? What do you miss most about living in Canada or the broader Western world? Oh God, not much. I was talking to this, oh, this is cool. Sorry, I'm getting distracted, but check this out. This vast field of some random, I don't know what that is. It's some dried up crop. Also, on this hill, the soil here is very red. It's kind of got that orange tinge to it. And from my 4th grade science that I used to teach, I think that means it's very rich in iron. But I could be wrong. This is all dried up and full of litter, so I don't know what happened to this field. But yeah, so not much. I think probably just abandoned farm, not even crops. Yeah, you're probably right. Still very cool though. Very interesting. Not much. I was talking to this with Vicky. She's my Taiwanese friend who's married to an American guy, Sean. And they were my first friends when I moved to Taiwan, but they've since moved back to the States. And so they've been there for 5 years. And, oh, Dion again, geez, on a roll. Dion, when is mom coming to Taiwan? Yeah, I don't think, by the way, again, thank you so much for the super chat, really appreciate it. You're putting food on my table, Dion. So my dinner tonight, I'll be thanking you. Yeah, my mom, I wanted to fly her here. I offered to pay for her ticket. I was gonna use Patreon money or something and have her come here and shoot videos. But I think she's not very mobile anymore. She's got a bad knee, and so I don't know if coming here is really good for her. I feel like she would enjoy it, but I don't know. Every time I ask her, she has a different response. Sometimes she's really excited and would love to go, and other times she's like, oh, my knee. So I don't know if that'll ever happen. But yeah, check out this soil. Look how like red and orange that is. Very cool. Prazi, you missed my pathetic super chat. Oh, Ruth, sorry. Did I? I'm trying to go back and find it, but it's not. Oh, there it is. Ruth, I am also a simp. Thanks, Ruth. Don't worry, I would simp for Ruth any day. Yeah, where was I with this talk? What do I miss from Canada? Yeah, so I was talking to her. So she's Taiwanese, she lives in the States, and she was saying like she's lived there so long that you kind of forget what you miss about your own country because you've been gone for so long, and so you don't really miss anything, and you start to feel like a foreigner in your own country. So I don't even know if I really miss that much. I think if I had to pick one, it would be like shawarma. It isn't even Canadian food. It's Lebanese food, but we have a lot of those restaurants in Ottawa, and I grew up eating it, and I love it. So that would be one thing I miss. But yeah, sorry, not a great answer. Kat says, fly your sister out. Yeah, I don't know how much interest she has in Taiwan. Maybe she would enjoy it. I think it would be kind of fun. She's a very outgoing person. That's an idea. That would be kind of cool. Looks like you're going to live, so good luck. Yeah, oh yeah, for people who are joining the chat now, I'm fine. Missiles are not dropping all around me. Everything is fine. I think I wanted to highlight in this live stream how stupid that was and how this happens more often than you might think. Like okay, like back to this whole satellite launch. Who do they have working in that department, right? Like, okay, they launched a satellite. So in Chinese, we're gonna tell everyone in Taiwan, every single person on the island, that a satellite's launching over Taiwan from China. Okay, fine. I don't know why you would do that, but that's the decision they made. Oh, I know where I am. We'll go this way. Whatever. But then they were like, well, we also have to write it in English because not everybody can read Chinese, and there are a lot of foreigners here. Who the hell did they hire to translate that? Like, the incompetence there is astounding. And I wonder if they even hired anyone, or if there's even like a department where they like translate these official warnings, or if they just like Google translated it, and Google Translate took satellite and turned it into missile. Like, so dumb, so incompetent, and they caused such a stir. So yeah, that's more of like what I wanted to like highlight with this live stream. So yeah. Oh, my sister's in the chat. Hello, Diane. We were just talking about you. So yeah, do you think casual racism is prevalent in Taiwan? Is this the same person asking all these amazing questions? Yes and no. I think it's a different kind. I don't think people here are like actually hateful in their heart. I think they're just more ignorant. And so you can kind of feel like it's like that, but it's not really. I don't know. I'd have to think about it a little bit more. I don't want to like talk about that topic in such a, I want to be careful with my words when I talk about that. So again, probably a video idea. Yeah, Diane, when are you going to come to Taiwan? I wonder if she would actually enjoy it, because my sister is a pure-blooded Canadian, and so she, I don't know how willing she would be to like try new things or explore or kind of appreciate other areas, but who knows, maybe she would like it, but we'll see. Ignorance is ignoring your sis. I'm not, do you know how many people, I'm walking and trying to pay attention to the chat, Diane. Let me see if I can find her. Vatu Loco says, salutes from Taiwan. Hey, neighbor. Also, my sister says, I'd be more famous than you. Yeah, probably. There's a BMW electric whatever they're called behind me. Yeah, I think she would be very popular with Taiwanese people. She's tall and pretty, so yeah. Blair says sis is right. Oh my God, if I've got Blair and my sister in this chat, that I'm gonna get teased nonstop. Yeah, Dion says, so we need to raise $2,500 to get her there. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I want to fly my sister here, and I absolutely would. Hang on, another super chat. Will by the Bay says, salutes from Taiwan again, but I don't know. I guess they changed their super chat. I'm not really sure, but yes, hello, Taiwan. Thank you so much for the super chat. Again, I think I'm going for dinner with a friend of mine at a restaurant tonight, and that 30 NT will buy me 3 chicken wings, which I will be thanking you for putting food on my table. But yeah, I want to fly her here, but obviously the flight tickets are like absurdly expensive. But yeah, $2,500 I think is, yeah, that's probably where flight tickets are right now. It's absolutely crazy. Where's your PayPal so we can donate? I don't really use PayPal anymore. I took that link off of my bio, so it's more just like Patreon now. But I mean, I guess what you're saying is like, where could we donate to a flight ticket specifically? That's a good question. I've never thought about it until now, so maybe I'll set something up and I'll let you know, Dion. But I appreciate it. So this is like a night market area. It's kind of cool, but it's also very windy on this street. Jesus. We'll go straight to hopefully block some of this wind. We'll try and not get hit by a car. And obviously night markets aren't really all that interesting in the middle of the day. So yeah, way expensive, and I haven't gone to see him, and that's the reason, yeah. Kai Feng, 75, says, let's celebrate their 3rd super chat on a live stream together. I wish you asked a question, Kai Feng, but yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thanks for that's your 3rd ever one. Really appreciate that. Kai Feng, that's an interesting name. That's the city I used to live in when I lived in China. I lived in central China in a province called Henan, and I lived in a smaller sized city called Kaifeng, or whatever the tones are for that city. That was a dreadful place. I didn't really like it there, but it had some interesting history at least. I went to try to avoid some wind, but that didn't really work. Why haven't I been there either? I'll get a ticket there too, though. Oh, it was a super sticker. Okay, yeah, appreciate that. Tickets are like $1,900 round trip. Yeah, I think it depends. It's the same as flying to Australia. Can you make a video comparing Taipei and Taichung? Can do if I think people will, if people are interested. Hi from Windsor, Ontario. Hello. Flight tickets are wild. Round trip to the UK holidays is like $800. Yeah, I think like. Oh, James! James said that. I didn't even notice that. I have someone asked me about what I miss about Canada, and then all my old Canadian friends are in the chat. James is one of my best buds back in Canada. So yeah, I think flight tickets haven't gone back down to pre-COVID levels. And I know that because I flew like a lot this year, like more than I usually do. I went to the Philippines, which was pretty cheap, and then I went to Canada, and then I went to the UK. And I don't normally fly that much, but I spent a nauseating amount of money on tickets. So yeah, your Anglo-Canadian hair looks amazing on windy Taiwanese days. I'm jealous as a Taiwanese. This is French-Canadian hair. Thank you very much. Not really. I'm half French-Canadian, but no, my hair looks ridiculous in this wind. It's just, I don't know why today is so windy. It wasn't like this yesterday when I had this idea. But yeah, Kodik Savage says, Sis Flight Ticket Fund. Was good hanging out with everyone back in May. Should be back in Taiwan for good in September. You still need to get on some video games with me sometime, from Brandon. Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks so much for the super chat, by the way, but I really want to game with other people. I'm in the middle of playing Elden Ring right now, and it's awesome. But I also want to try out Baldur's Gate co-op with people. I think that would be really, really fun. So whenever you're in Taiwan, let me know, because I think it's difficult to play with like some people that watch my videos from abroad because the time difference is so extreme. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk home. I won't end the stream if this chat keeps going. Let me not get hit by this car. And I'll just keep going from inside my home where it's not so windy. I feel bad that you guys are probably having to listen to all this wind. I don't really know how it's affecting the audio right now. Jesus Christ. So let me figure out where I'm going. So yeah, I get airline tickets with points from credit cards and pay the entire credit bill every month. Yeah, I don't really do credit cards very much, just because I don't feel like I'm personally responsible enough to have one. Someone says the audio seems okay, wind ain't that bad. Okay, well that's good. If that's the case, then maybe I'll walk around a little bit more. It's a little bit more interesting to see. If you're a citizen of Taiwan, who would you vote for? I am going to avoid that question, not because it's not a good question, it's a great question. This guy, if I can read his name, has been asking amazing questions the whole stream. But the elections are right around the corner, and Taiwan is extremely sensitive about political content that comes out before the election, and so I don't want to get into trouble for that. So I'm going to avoid answering that question. And it doesn't really matter anyway, because I'm not Taiwanese. I don't have a Taiwanese passport, and therefore I can't vote. So yeah, I can't really answer that question. I apologize. That's just the way it is in Taiwan. Jesus. I think we're gonna have to duck into another alleyway. Ugh. I wonder what's causing this wind. Like, it's been so peaceful all week, and then suddenly today it's just insane. So yeah, that's what I don't like about the Taiwanese. They don't talk about politics. I'm American, by the way. Oh, before I get to that, yeah, this is a Toyota Super Zace, and I really want one, and that color is amazing. I got sponsored by Emma Mattress, and they're letting me take one of their mattresses and throw it into the back of a truck and do a huando around the island. And I was looking at one of those. That'd be great. Yeah, Taiwanese people don't typically, sometimes they'll talk about politics, but typically speaking, they don't, because, well, you know, as I'm sure you can imagine, especially with Americans, political discussions like that can get really heated and really, they can, you know, they can cause conflict, and that is one thing that Taiwanese people don't do. They don't do conflict, and so they typically avoid those situations. Although sometimes they'll have it, but usually they don't. Get your sis to go with you on the tour. Yeah, that would be cool. I wonder if Diane would be interested in that. The only thing I'd have to think about is, like, I'm kind of wasting a mattress because they're sending me a mattress. I'm going to throw it in the back of a truck, do the huando, and then what do I do with the mattress? I'm hoping I'm allowed. Okay, I'm going the right way. I'm hoping I'm allowed to rent a truck to do that, because I don't want to have to go and buy a whole truck, because I don't have anywhere to park it, and I have no business owning a truck. But if they let me do it, that would be so funny, especially to do it with my little sister, because it would be really fun to show her around the island in that style, you know, because if she did come to visit, I'm assuming she would spend 2 weeks here or something like that, which is more than enough time to take a train and go see other islands. Well, yeah, you could see other islands around Taiwan, but you can see like other cities. You know, you can go up to Taipei, go down to Kaohsiung, go up the East Coast, like show her the whole thing. But to do it in like a blue truck or like that yellow Toyota Super Zace would be so funny. And I gotta say, Emma Mattresses, like, I know I'm sponsored by them, so you're probably not gonna believe me, but like, I just got mine the other day, and they're wicked comfortable. Like, they're great. So to do a huando with a mattress like that would be great. Would be super awesome. I wish I could click on these super chats and it would just take me to it. Okay, me, David. Baldur's Gate is amazing on my 3rd playthrough already. Where are you in Elden Ring, though? Hang on, why? September 2. Yeah, I think with Baldur's Gate, I'm on my 1st playthrough. I think I played as like a wizard. On my 2nd playthrough, I want to try as doing it as a bard. That'd be super fun. On Elden Ring, where am I? I don't know. Elden Ring is so weird with its quest line, and it's such an open area, and they don't tell you where you're supposed to go, so it's kind of hard to know where I am in the game. But I just got to the capital city outskirts, I think, and I think I'm like level 80 samurai or something like that. I'm not really sure. I sound like a huge nerd talking about this stuff, but man, what a game. And yeah, I also thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. We'll be in Taiwan in early April. We only have a couple of days. Where should we go? Yeah, obviously see me and Alan. Kat, what the hell? Why are you even in Taiwan for a few days? I'm guessing it's for a connecting flight. I guess we'll go this way. I'm hoping it's not going to be too windy. Where should we go? Well, you're landing in Taiwan Airport. I'm assuming you're landing in Taiwan Airport. And that means you're probably going to want to stick around Taipei and go see that, because there's lots to do in Taipei. It's an interesting city. A lot of restaurants, a lot of cool areas, lots to do. There's nature stuff, there's nighttime stuff, there's beach stuff, there's all kinds of stuff to do in Taipei. And so I would stick in Taipei. It's too annoying to like go to other cities and get a hotel and then go all the way back if you're only here for a few days. So that would be my advice. Ilan is cool. If you can find a way there, I think you can get a bus there. It's not too far from Taipei. If you can avoid the weekends, then Ilan is top notch. I really like it there. I can't remember if you guys went there the last time you visited. Whoa! Did you guys hear that? The wind is, there's like a night market stall. I'll show you guys in a second. So this is like a second-hand kitchen refurbishing shop where, like, if you're opening a restaurant, you can buy like a second-hand fridge. And they have this night market stand that the wind just blew off of its, where is it? Somewhere over here. But yeah, the wind blew it damn near over. It is like so windy, it's getting dangerous. Sun Moon Lake. I wouldn't recommend going to Sun Moon Lake if you only have a few days. Kat and Greg are Canadian, and Canada has, this is such a dumb brag, but Canada has more lakes than any other country. If you took all the countries and combined them, Canada still has more lakes. So if you come to Taiwan to look at a lake, I don't really think that's going to impress very many Canadians. Despite the fact that Sun Moon Lake is, it's a mighty fine lake. I just don't think it's really going to blow their socks off. There's a cool recycling center there, so people will dump the recycling there and all gets sorted there. Skate with me on these lakes. That's what my sister said. I'm assuming she's talking about Canadian lakes. I miss ice skating so much. I haven't skated in like over 10 years, which is absurd, because I used to skate like damn near every day when I was living in Canada, because me and my little sister played hockey growing up. We played in a league, not together because she's 2 years younger than me, and she played in a girls' league, I think. Well, she played in a boys' league for a while. But yeah, we used to skate all the time, and now in Taiwan, obviously, there's no snow, and the skating rink in Taipei is lame as hell, so I haven't gone skating in such a long time, but I miss it. Fly me to my bro and I'll teach you how to skate here in Canada. Yeah, good. My sister's opening up skating lessons now for Taiwanese people. Recommending going for a Dark Urge run if you're playing Baldur's Gate multiple runs. Has a lot of content. Yeah, I might do that on my 3rd playthrough or something, but I still really want to try doing the bard thing. It looks really cool. There's always Taipei 101. Yeah, Taipei 101's alright. I think it's like, I don't know, a little pricey for what it is, and it's just, you go up a tall building, like, hooray, Thanks, Dion. Haven't been there yet. What did Dion recommend? Oh, Elon. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dion went to Elon last time I was here, and he really liked it. Stay safe from the satellites. Yeah. Cheers, man. I'm trying to stay as safe as I can from those Chinese satellites that are getting launched over the island. Such a dumb situation. I wonder if anything will come with that. Like, is anyone going to get in trouble, or is it like not really a big deal? I don't think it's a huge deal. I just think, oh, get ready for the wind. I just think it's kind of dumb that they, I don't know. Hard to explain that situation. It's so stupid. So yeah, New Taipei is always beautiful. Jiufen, the Pingxi Railway. Yeah, those are all good ideas. Yangmingshan, there's a really old lady selling sweet potatoes. Very cool. This whole island runs on sweet potatoes. It smells really nice. Okay, this is the dumb thing about this road. There's no sidewalk here because this truck is blocking it. So now I have to walk. I'm literally just walking on the street, and if that light turns green, I don't know if I trust Taiwanese people not to hit me from behind. Okay, parking is so much easier in Taipei than Toronto. I don't know if that's actually true. Oh, let me show you this asshole dog. So this person, I don't know what this is, like a steel something, but they have a dog that like hangs out in their yard, and he doesn't see me, but if he did, he'd go fucking nuts, and I hate them. A lot of them are Taiwanese mountain dogs, which are these small-ish dogs. Like, they're not like Chihuahua size small, but they're also not very big. And they have these dogs that the Aboriginals use to hunt and like stuff like that. And they're very, very, very territorial dogs. They're nice dogs. They're kind of pretty dogs, but a lot of them end up as strays because, well, they're native to the island, of course, but also I think a lot of dog owners can't handle their temperament because they're so territorial. And so I think they kind of end up biting a lot. Look at this, is crazy. That's like a Dodge Challenger with a nice bike and a lot of Wawajis in there. That's cool. And then some gangster just got out of his Mercedes-Benz, saw that I was filming it and kind of nodded at me, so I'm walking away. Taichung is filled with the mob, and you don't really want to piss those people off. So this person also asking amazing questions says, do you prefer teaching children or adults? And I would say children, definitely. They're a lot more fun. The way you teach them is more interesting. With adults, you're kind of directly feeding them information. They write it down and memorize it. But with kids, you have to be a lot more smart, or a lot more tricky, or a lot more, you can't just directly feed information to kids. They'll never pick it up. You have to design a lesson so that they can play, and they learn through play. That is the only way kids learn. And so designing a lesson is a lot more interesting and a lot more dynamic, and it's a lot more fun. And kids are just hilarious. They're funny. They make your day better. Not every day, and not every kid. But if you can go in with the right attitude and you have enough sleep and enough energy, they're pretty great. I think a lot of people say they don't like kids, and I think that speaks more to their own personality than the actual kids. I think if you spent enough time around kids, you would realize they're not so bad. They're kind of fun. You learn a lot about yourself too when you work with them. They're great. The large signs are in English, but may not have a familiar. It's in the background. Children, because they don't know any better. You should come visit Ukraine. Taiwan and Ukraine have a shared destiny. Yeah, I don't think I will, but thank you. We cycled out of Hualien last trip. It was really chill and pretty. Yeah, I can't believe you guys did that, cycling around Taiwan. Especially with like all the hills and the inclines. I would die. If you haven't driven in Taiwan or can't read the road signs, I'd avoid driving in Taiwan. I think it doesn't matter. I think people drive so crazy here that I don't think most people are really reading the signs, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just trying to pay a little bit more attention to this chat. Where are you walking now? What's your next big vid? Is it me? I'm just walking around the neighborhood. I have no destination. That's my little sister asking me that. I walk every day for about an hour just to try and keep in shape. And my next big video, I think, it's not really a big video, but I went to the UK. I was there last week, 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, and I shot like a little vlog where I met Alan's family and we had Christmas together, and my Chinese friend Miss Zhou was there. We had like a grand old time in Liverpool. It was really fun, and I shot a lot, so I don't know how long this vlog will be. I'm hoping it's just like a quick video. Not necessarily quick as in like the length of time, I just mean like editing it can't take me that long because I have a few different sponsorships I'm working on. And so I've got like 3 different videos right now that I'm juggling. So I kind of have to bang this one out quick. Diane says my bro is awesome, but I'm better. Yeah, we'll see, Diane. Come to Taiwan and see how you like it first. It's so windy. Right now, I'm on top of a hill, so that's kind of cool. You might not be able to see it. Yeah, that's too polluted. I can see it, but the lens won't pick it up. Right here are some of the taller buildings in downtown Taiwan, and if I kept walking over that hill, you'd see the ocean. But yeah. I drove in Taiwan, just need a navigation app. And also came from a right-hand drive country. Yeah, you can drive here no easy. It's no problem. It's just like it just means that you have to be careful with the way people drive here, not necessarily the road signs. So yeah, especially Hualien is very chill and open space, no crowds. Yeah, Hualien's great. Would super recommend going there. Do you see yourself living in Taiwan until you're a senior? I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I hope I'm not like a senior living here, but we'll see. I don't know if it's very friendly to old foreigners. That guy is walking an absolute horse. Jeez, that's a big dog. Got a lot of fur too. I almost feel like they should ban the sale. Oh, ambulance coming. There's a hospital just down this road, so you hear a lot of ambulances. But I feel like they should like ban the sales of those dogs in Taiwan because, you know, the weather can get up to like 40 degrees Celsius plus with the humid, and it's just so humid. And these poor dogs are walking around with massive coats of fur, and it's just like, I feel so bad for them. Right now, obviously, it's not so bad. It's not very hot. But like in the summertime, people are walking around with like huskies. You're like, what are you doing with a husky in a subtropical island? These poor dogs are, you know, bred to like literally sleep in the snow. Like they're comfortable in snow, cold areas. That's why they have these thick coats of fur. But Taiwanese people think they're cute, and so they buy them and they import them here, and they don't always have like big spaces for them. They live in these tiny apartments. And if you've ever like met a husky, you know they're really like rambunctious and incredibly loud and very annoying, especially for neighbors. And so they need a lot of space and a lot of area to run around, and that's just not what Taiwan is, and it's not what Taiwan has. Ugh. Okay, guys. I was just about to say bye, and I got another super chat. Keep me going. White says, morning from Blighty. For people who don't know, that means England. My situation is a classic Taiwanese mistranslation. This situation is a classic Taiwanese mistranslation. Lots to be worried with the election, but not sure this is it, lads. Also, apparently I got yellow fever because I like Taiwan. Not sure how that works. Yeah, that whole satellite situation was dumb. Nothing to worry about. In fact, I think this is a broader message to a lot of you guys watching from abroad. When you turn on the news and you're hearing them constantly go on about a potential cool outdoor camping shop. I want to go check that out sometime. But yeah, when you read the news and you hear about, you know, China this and Taiwan that, and they might invade at any second, don't listen to it. It's literally just sensational news that's there for you to watch. It's there for you to click. It's there because the more clicks they get and the more views they get, the more ad revs they get. And none of it, no one here cares. There's a strong chance it won't happen. Stuff like this happens all the time. This is just kind of the first, it's not the first time, but it's one of like the rare times where it's like a domestic issue where it came from the Taiwanese government and it ended up being a huge mistake. And I think that's why people just don't care, because they're so used to it. So I think if you're watching from abroad and you're really worried about the situation, don't be. I understand that, how you can come to feel that way with the way that the media runs and the way that they feed you this information and the way that they can make you be fearful of the situation. But the reality is, no one here cares. No one here is really worried about it, which is easy for me to say because you can't really be worried about it because everyone here is just trying to live their life, and nobody wants to, nobody wants to be too concerned over it all the time because you'll go nuts. But yeah, no, I really appreciate that super chat. Thank you so much. But yeah, I think if you guys want to continue this discussion, maybe I will next week. Of course, I do these live streams every single week. At least I'm trying to. Obviously, I missed last week because I was in the UK. I didn't have internet there. But if you guys want to join me next week, feel free. Make sure you're following me on Instagram so that I can tell you when these are happening, because I don't really have like a set schedule. It's just like whenever I think of a topic, I put it on Instagram and then I come on here and do a live stream. But it's been about an hour. I think it'd be really cool to do a longer one with you guys. I don't know if I could do a longer one and walk at the same time. Maybe I can. Maybe it'd be better to do it at home. But I appreciate all of you guys so much for watching. You guys are literally putting food on my table. So this was a great live stream, really, really fun. Thank you so much for the super chats. Almost got hit by a car again, Jesus. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week for another video. Bye-bye.